We stay on the roads right now where traffic is picking up as motorists make their way to Zimbabwe via the Beitbridge Border Post. Christmas Eve is expected to be one of the busiest days on the roads, and drivers are warned of high traffic volumes on major routes. My colleague Tshegohaco Moagi joins us from Beitbridge. Tshegohaco, a similar question to Moeli. Usually officers, that's immigration officers as well as police officers, have their hands full during this time of the year. Give us a sense of the situation at Beitbridge Border Post.
Absolute business here at the Beitbridge Border Post here in Musina, and it is a scorching 36 degrees here at the moment, with many people still making their way through this very bridge, either actually going into South Africa to go collect some necessities ahead of Christmas Day tomorrow, or actually getting out of South Africa to go into Zimbabwe. And we have been here for quite some time at this very bridge where you are able to see people moving in. I mean, where we are standing at the moment, this is the legal channels that people can actually use to get in out of South Africa through to Zimbabwe. However, there is the illegal channel, so to speak, which is really just across here, a few meters away. You're actually able to see people walking up and down here in and out of Zimbabwe. The police officers here trying their best to ensure that they actually don't cross through into Zimbabwe, many of them carrying luggage that needs to obviously go home for them. But I'm with Max this afternoon in this very heat here, and as you can see, people making their way in and out of Zimbabwe. You can also see the motorists there. So this is the passenger or the pedestrian way of people to actually make their way through the border and through the various countries. And on the other side of this very bridge, you are then able to see the cars and the motorists making their way, the buses as well there, obviously carrying a large number of luggage as they head over into Zimbabwe for the Christmas holidays. I did ask one of the gentlemen who was actually making their way through to this very bridge, asking him when is he going to come back, and he says on the 2nd of January or the 3rd of January. And then the follow-up question was, will then he be coming back this very same pathway, or will he be using the railway crossing, so to speak, to actually make his way back into South Africa? And he says all the time that he goes in and out of South Africa into Zimbabwe, he makes sure that he does it in a legal manner. We did have a conversation earlier with a commissioner, Dr. Mike Masiapato, and he is from the Border Management Authority. And, you know, one of the things that we spoke about was these very illegal immigrants that actually cross the border via illegal manners and or illegal ways. And he mentioned to us that that very thing is something that they are discussing and that they are trying to work with the SANDF. The people that actually make their way through to South Africa and from Zimbabwe or the other way around, they are not supposed to actually come through via the illegal channels, because there are soldiers, we understand, at the very border, and these soldiers are the ones that actually stop that particular movement. But we've seen numerous people in the past 2 days that we've been here actually able to do exactly that, able to cross the border via the illegal manner, which is really just a few meters away. I'm just going to request Max to just show you what I mean when I say a few meters away. So this is where the bridge actually ends, and then you are able to see, so the bridge actually ends right here. This is where the bridge would then end for the legal migrants or immigrants that are going through to Zimbabwe, and just over this you are then able to see the illegal migrants that are actually making their way out of Zimbabwe into South Africa, or even out of South Africa and into Zimbabwe. So really a few meters away, but we are told then by the border management authorities that they actually are working on this and ensuring that people do not come into South Africa illegally, that there are soldiers at the border, but it's yet to be seen whether this is actually working, because if we are able to see the people still coming in and out of the two countries, the question begs, is it actually working? But the BMA is saying that they are working hard to ensure that everybody that enters South Africa does so in a legal fashion. So it's still going to be quite a long wait for many of the people who want to make their way through to Zimbabwe. Just passing this bridge is not sufficient, because they then cross over and go into Zimbabwe, and many of them have actually told us that it will take another 4 or 5 hours in Zimbabwe for them to be able to get home, and many of them saying that they are hoping to be able to get home before the sun sets, to be able to get home before Christmas. So that's what they have said to us here. And as you can see, a lot of them carrying very heavy luggage that they are taking through home, and they are hoping to be there just in time for the Christmas celebrations with their families.
Thanks there for that comprehensive report from our reporter Tshegohaco Moagi, who's out at a scorching Musina, 36 degrees Celsius out in Musina this afternoon, observing the legal as well as illegal border crossings at the Beitbridge Border Post. This